I'm at my local rock yard, trying to come up with some ideas what I want to do for the pond walls. I would love to be able to do big boulders like that, or big boulders off far in the distance, but they still need to be manhandleable. So I may be limited to trying to find some, even this stuff's going to be small. So trying to mess with this stuff and find some bigger rocks that I can try and stack. Yeah, a lot of this stuff's going to be too small. Too small. So what I did last time, they have some assorted river rock over here, 8 to 12 inch Delaware River rock. And again, even this stuff's gonna be, I mean, there's some bigger stuff, but the problem is this stuff doesn't stack very good. And then you know, I kind of pick and choose some more squarish ones that I can stack, but I still end up with problems. So yeah, I don't know how I want to do. I mean, there are some good stacking ones here. You're gonna see a couple have some flat sides, but again, once you step on them, they tend to roll, and makes my life difficult. So I'm gonna randomly, not dangerously, kind of walk over this ledge. That one's a real good one there. That's another good one. There's a couple good flat ones up here, but the problem is if I'm gonna pick and choose, I gotta pick and choose a whole lot of rocks, and you know, I gotta stack these things a couple foot high. So yeah, there's some challenges in here with that. When I figures a lot of the better rocks I'm gonna have to get all the way back in the bag. That's a really good one there. Yeah, they're probably not gonna like me today doing this, but yeah, there's some good ones back there. All right, let me think about this a little bit more. Let me go look at some of the boulders. I think those boys are gonna be too big for me to move. I don't know. Let's see. I wish I had my own personal skid steer, because oh man, that's a real nice one there. That will probably be a really cool waterfall rock. Man, maybe I'll just buy a couple one-offs and try and figure out how to move these. But yeah, I wish I had my own personal skid steer, because this is the kind of rock I would like to use. But these things are way too heavy. A couple of these I might be able to roll, but yeah, I'd be kind of limited. There's a bunch of red boulders over there. These look really nice. There's a couple smaller ones behind there. Actually, those might work good. The more tan colored ones in that pile, those could be big enough. There's a bunch over there too, but these could be big enough to do what I want to do and still look really cool, instead of stacking the smaller stuff, and still be kind of manhandleable. Is that the term I want to use? Manhandleable. Yeah, some of these could be good. It'll be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but some of these could work out pretty good. Let me come up with some ideas. I don't know that I fully like the look of it, but I have an idea. If I get some of these bigger ones here, instead of stacking them flat, if I put them up on their side like that to kind of build up along the wall, hopefully they'll be kind of tall enough to at least start a top level around the bottom, and then stack less. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna like that lined around the bottom of the pond or not, but that is an idea. That is an idea that I can do. And then I can get some of these bigger ones in there and not take up so much of the lineage, and still have a decent starting point for stacking with bigger rocks. Yeah, so I got some boulders. I hand-picked a bunch of these because I thought they would be pretty good framing rocks and to kind of fill in the gaps for those tall walls. They're on the big sides. The key is, if I can roll these things, I'll be alright, and I should be able to roll them. It's going to be some work. So I'm going to go back and fill in with some of that river stone, try and find some of that flat river stone. Again, the colors ain't going to match, but I'm going to try and get some reds, some blues, some purple, some gray, some, you know, oranges, tans, right? So I'm going to try and get a bunch of different colors in there so it has some dynamic. You know, I know it's not the most planned out thing, but it kind of is what it is, right? I'm doing this by hand, so there's only so much I can do with it. So let me start dropping these things. I'm gonna go back for some more rock. Got the first batch of boulders off, and it's funny because I had planned for these to be stones to build up the walls, and some of these are looking more like waterfall stones. Like that looks like a really cool spill stone to me, the way that has a couple drops. This one could be a cool spillway stone. That could be a pillar stone, or these two could be pillar stones. So yeah, this kind of changes my mind a little bit, but I'm just gonna keep on going back and get rocks. I'm gonna go back and get some of the bigger, flatter river rocks, see what I can make stack, and just kind of hope that it comes to me when I'm doing this. Load 2 of boulders in the truck. I got like another 3 more that I set to the side when I was back there. Again, I don't know that I really have a plan, but I figure that these are going to be easier to stack bigger boulders than it was with the smaller stuff I did last time. So let me get these unloaded. I'm going to go back and grab the other 3 that I got, and I'm just kind of putting these on the side for now until I get the liner seamed and get some hands over here. Hopefully get my son-in-law or somebody over here to help me out a little bit. I'm beat. I'm absolutely beat. This is load number 3 of boulders. First 2 loads of boulders. Yes, I am doing this all by myself. Loading them up, loading them off, and then moving them over to where they gotta go. So this is brutal work, but hopefully the job pays dividends when it is done. That is always the hope. Looks like the pond water's clearing up. I can see the fish again, so they're looking decently happy. Still a lot of muck, just from everything moving around and all the dirt settling, but I don't know, maybe they know they're getting an expansion in their home. So I am going to unload this 3rd load. Oh man, my elbows are killing me. I'm gonna take a break for a little bit after I unload this load, get some food, and I don't know what's next. I don't know, I'm kind of beat. So we shall see. Oh, looks like I was bloodied. All right, let me get back to it. Load 4 of stone. This time it is essentially gravel, right, instead of boulders. I got to move some of these boulders out of the way to get the wheelbarrow out through to drop the stone back there. Stuff just everywhere. Isla, you gonna help Daddy? We got my fabulous helper, as you can see, Isla, getting prepped to help out. I thought it was going to rain for a little bit there, but the sky brightened up, so I think we're good to go. It's not calling for any rain, but all right, technically, this is technically day 3-ish of getting actual work done. So you're going to see I didn't get my last load of gravel out of the truck yesterday. I spent a lot of time seaming the liner. I ran to clear water. I'll show you guys that in a minute. So here's the gravel that we got. We got some Delaware River stone 3/4 inch. We're gonna put that around the bottom and the shelves of the pond. That's probably not gonna be enough. This is most definitely not gonna be enough boulders. So I'm gonna have to make another trip for boulders. However, it is Saturday and it is Labor Day weekend. So anything that I've done in the days leading up to this was to be able to have enough stock for things to get done this weekend, and that is not it. So I got a finite amount of time. It's like 8:30 in the morning. I want to get that gravel off of this truck. I want to get these things moved a little bit so I can get a wheelbarrow through, get a stock of some bottom stone, and then I'm going to go back and try and grab some more boulders, try and get some more stuff this size if I can. I think I picked a lot of the flatter stuff for stacking last time I was there, but I want to try and get some more stuff today, because what I get today is going to dictate how much stuff I get done this weekend. The reality of it is I'm probably not going to get this fully done this weekend. Again, I got time. I just got these two hands and myself, right? So I can try and get as much done as I can. It's my time. I'm the only one doing it. It's tough, and I'm limited with hours on places being open, so that's the problem. So I got 25 foot of 1.5 inch flexi hose. That's going to go from the main OASA pump to the OASA, I want to call it the remote reservoir or the remote filter, but they call it something else. I can't remember the terminology. Got another 25 foot of sinking hose, 3/8 hose. That's going to be for another octopus that I said was going to come off of that airline. And I got some pipe glue and clamps and things like that. So let me show you this contraption that I did. It's ugly as hell, but I think it's going to hold water pretty damn good. We shall see. So I went over everything last night, or everything that's going to be inside the water at least. It's still kind of tacky. Yeah, it's still kind of tacky. It's going to need to dry a bit. It got a little cold last night. A little cold this morning. I'm going to go ahead and hit that a little bit more once it warms up. But I went and put some glue over everything. Get everything to sit at the seams pretty good. I'll run over it with a roller, kind of flatten everything out a little bit more. But like I said, I think it's gonna hold water pretty well. It's way overkill, but I think it should do the trick. I'm losing time. It's cold. Let me go get a hoodie and get to it. All right, so I got all the bottom of the pond stone out. I'm gonna hose this stuff off later. Trip 4 or 5, I don't even know at this point. I lost count of getting boulders / rocks for the pond walls. Man, I'll tell you what, this is just back-breaking work, as you would think it would be, but doing this all myself again. I'm thinking I bit off more than I can chew, but this is all I know how to do. So I'm just gonna keep on trucking. I'm gonna try and, it just looks like so much, but it's not enough. I'm gonna try and separate some of the rocks that I think would be good for waterfalls, as well as ones I think would be good for top coping stones, and then try and fill in the rest. And I'm gonna try and get done as much as I can do today. I gotta straighten out the liner. I'm gonna hose some of this stuff off and see if I can get its true color. Again, you're gonna see lots of reds. Now we're getting some grays and whites. We're getting a little bit more browns. So it's gonna be a hodgepodge of all kinds of stuff. You know, I can only do what I can do. I can only get what I can lift. So unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck with doing all these different colors, but I think all in all it'll probably look good. And again, this stuff's going to change color as we go, as it ages and gets algae and things on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get cracking, try and get some of these rocks out, and start rocking today. Wish me luck. If I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. So boys and girls, this is why you get up close and personal with your liner. You get intimate with it. So I got $1,000 worth of liner, and guess what I found? I found a hole right there. So I gotta go make another run to Clearwater, get some patches. Hopefully that's the only one that I find, but I'm gonna rinse off this liner and try and get some of the mud up, so that way I can see a little bit more as I'm working, because I kind of caught that by accident. And that would have totally ruined my day, because that was well below water line, and that most definitely would have been an issue. So let me go ahead and rinse off this liner a little bit. You'll see I'm just kind of stepping down, putting some stones down to flatten out the bottom layer, and then figure out where the folds are going to be. Alright, let's hose it down so we can get it decently cleaned up, and then I'll drop that small pump in and get the rest of the water up. I mean, this isn't definitely going to get dirty again, or most definitely going to get dirty again, but I can at least try and get it somewhat clean so I can see what I'm working on, and hope that I can find and remediate any further issues as they come up, because I don't want to keep on running. Again, I'm running out of time, running out of light, because this being a holiday weekend, so I'm glad I found it now and not tomorrow, because that would have stopped me from working. Here's my mechanism for moving the rocks. Kind of set up a trolley system, get it over here to the edge, roll it down, boom, and get down there. I'm not feeling how those ones are looking yet, but I'll keep on playing. Alright, this is my innovative boulder relocation process. So as you can see, I got 3 pretty decent sized boulders in here by myself, might I add, because my wife can't help with the boulder. She's eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So I have an elevator system. I got some extra geotextile fabric to kind of create like a spillway, and I put some pads on the ground, a pad right there. So basically I use this furniture cart as a trolley to get the boulders all the way from over there to over here, stop it, roll them on their side, roll them, get to the edge, drop a ledge or a shelf, roll, drop a shelf, boom, onto the ground, and then I kind of slide them around on the rocks here. Sometimes you got to be creative, get stuff done, and that's how I'm doing it. So I didn't get quite as much done today as I anticipated. Again, just kind of having to run for stuff and deal with stuff. I'm not married to this section right here. I don't like the way it looks, but the rest of it I'm pretty happy with. I already foamed in there because I am committed to that. I do think that looks pretty good, and threw some stone in there to kind of get an idea what it was going to look like, and I think it looks pretty good. So it's starting to look like a pond. I'm definitely glad I went with bigger boulders to get this done. I wish I had more bigger boulders than what I do. I still have a good amount over there. I'm saving some of the cooler ones for the top section, yeah, it's starting to look like a pond. I have it rocked in or stoned in this section here. This is going to be a hide. I think I'm going to turn this into a hide, which is why I kind of stopped the rocks in that section. I got to measure and see if I can get some slate tomorrow, or maybe Tuesday at this point. I don't know. I'm probably just going to finish rocking out what I can rock out, or I'll see if I can get the slate tomorrow and just do that point and do up to this first level, just to kind of get water in here, or at least get it settled on the first level. We shall see, but I'll keep on hitting it tomorrow. It's almost 7 o'clock, I think, so I'm gonna call it quits for tonight, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. All right, good morning everybody. It is Sunday morning. We're gonna get back at rocking. I was just absolutely just dead tired yesterday. I went to bed. I was falling asleep at like 8 o'clock. I felt like an old person. I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock on the sofa, went up to bed at 9:30, and I woke up this morning at like 8:30. I never sleep in that late. That is very unheard of for me. I have sleep tracker app on my bed, on my Tempur-Pedic bed. It said I scored a 95. That is also unheard of. So apparently I was pretty beat last night. So I'm going to get back to rocking today. I'm pretty in love with this section. I finalized it. I foamed it out last night. I really don't like that there. So I'm going to figure this out today. I'm probably going to move that bottom piece over a little bit, stack another one over this way, and then kind of try and stagger stack it. I still do have a decent bit of rocks to play around with, but I don't want to use them all for the bottom, right? I still got to get around the sides, and I'm not going to have enough for the top section. So I want to try and get that done. I want to try and get some slate or flagstone for the top if I can find pieces wide enough. I think I found something that might work. I might just have to shift it back a little bit, but go get a couple pieces of that today. I'm going to start rocking out the canal right there a little bit and getting the folds good over there. It's healed enough. I don't think it's going to heal any better than what it is. Technically, that stuff can take like 30 days to fully heal and harden, but I'm hoping by adding weight to it that it's just going to do its thing. So that's where I'm going to be. Pond building attire, as you can see, is beautiful. You're going to say, hey Pete, you're a madman. Why are you doing boulders and rocking and flops? And there's a reason to that. I had sneakers. I took my sneakers off. I had sneakers over here. I kept on sliding inside the pond and almost busted my ass a couple times with sneakers on. Then I did it barefooted, and that was even worse. I overturned my big toe like that. That was not a comfortable endeavor. So I've learned that, surprisingly, these foam flops are just enough support to give me impact support when I jump in on top of the rocks. I still get some feeling over the rocks, but not a numb feeling, and more importantly, they stick. So I have not slid on these yet. So I'm going to keep on rocking with these. I'm not going to say I haven't dropped the boulder on my toes when I was rolling them over yesterday. Again, uncomfortable feeling, but these are sacrifices I make for my fish. So let's get back to it. I'm going to move around this section down here a little bit and see if I can get it the way I like it with what I got left. Let me show you guys what some of the rocks I have left. That one is a beautiful rock, absolutely beautiful rock, but I'm not going to use it because it's a sedimentary rock and it's going to break down and cause some water quality issues. This one I'm not too sure I'm going to be able to work with. This one I think I'm going to put in place down in that section where I said I was going to modify. And then I have a bunch of smaller stuff, and I still have some bigger stuff. So some of these bigger ones I want to use for that top section. I think that's going to be a good top section rock for sure, maybe underneath the waterfall. These are all good top section rocks. I think this one's going to be my main waterfall rock just because I like the spillover and the areas to catch water. I really like it on this one too. This has a really nice indentation, but I think water's just going to roll right off of that. So that one might be a good one to do down at the bottom too. What do you think, Isla? You like that one? All right, that one might be a good one. That one's going to be a little bit harder to move, even with my caddy system that I'm using, but you know, let me do the stuff. You don't really get it's funny, like if you don't have the skill like these professional guys do, you know, it's hard to look at the rocks and come up with an idea, but I'm certainly trying. I'm getting the feel for it as I'm moving some stuff around. And like I said, I think that first section came out really good. More importantly, it's stable. I can walk across those rocks. Everything's locked in pretty good. So let me go ahead and give a crack at it and see where we get. And I'll give you guys a follow-up shortly. Alright, I think I could be okay with this new formation over here. Kind of kicks out a little bit into the cave, so that way, because I'm not planning on rocking inside the cave, so that'll, I think, kind of cover up the entrance and shield it a little bit. There's a good bit of an opening back there. I guess little baby fish or frogs or whatever can go back there. I don't know that I'll foam that up, but we'll give them an option. I'm not overly fond how much this kicks out, but it works. I think it looks pretty good and it is stable. Obviously it takes away a lot from the bottom of the pond, but you know, I don't know. I guess they don't hang out down to the bottom of the pond that much anyway. They kind of hang out about mid-level. So what I've been doing is I've been backfilling with a little bit of this underlayment for spots where it's like that, where it's sharp. So we'll just go ahead and drop that guy in there, and that way where it makes contact is making contact to fabric that's kind of padded, and hopefully that will save the liner. Alright, again, I can step on it. That's the important part, because with the other ponds I don't have spots to step on and everything just falls apart. So everything here so far I've tested has been very sturdy. So let's keep on rocking. Alright, so here's where the folds at the seam kind of screw me again. As I put everything in, the liner pulled down a little bit, and I don't really have enough liner. I mean, it's going to be above the water line, so it's probably going to be fine, but I want to seam this area up here, because by the time I tuck it, it may just, right, by the time it splashes and stuff, the top of that seam might be around the water line. So I'm going to go ahead and add an extra seam up here. Again, it's sloppy, but I don't know what else to do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the seam tape and fix that area there. Well, I got a little overzealous with my rock delivery system. A rock slipped. It's a really big one. I'm going to have a hard time getting back up, but it fell down at the bottom and it ripped the liner right there. So I'll be doing another patch today. I would like to say I'm going to get good at patching, but I don't think that's going to happen. So now I got to figure out how the hell to move this thing back up. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but this is shit I don't have time for. I really don't have time for this. All right, let me try and figure out how to lift this big thing to get it back over the hump, and I'll roll it back over somehow. Yeah, so I'm at the point of regret of many things now. So I finally got that rock up into place. I had my wife help me. I had the moving men straps. I basically got this cart down in the channel, lifted the rock onto it, had my wife lean all the way back with her weight, and I lifted up from the bottom, got it up on this ledge, and then I strapped around the moving men, had her pull with all her weight while I lifted up over that ledge, moved it into place. I think it's a pretty good place for the rock, all said and done, but man, I really broke my balls with that one. Obviously I had to do a patch right there where I ripped it, and I found something that I think was a small pinhole, so I patched there, and I'm out of patches. So I hope I'm all out of holes, because this has just been an absolute nightmare of a job. Last two ones I had no problems getting rocks in and out without ripping anything, but that's the problem when you go with nice, you know, natural looking rock. Is the problem is they have sharp edges. So that just had a little bit of a sharp edge when it came down and ripped tear the hole. All the other stuff I used before was river rock, so most of it was just all round, which is again why it didn't stack good. This stuff stacks good, but I gotta worry about holes. So you're gonna see little spots where I put pad in, put pad back there, put pad back there. There's a couple other little spots here and there that I put pad behind on the sharp spots. So I don't know. Now I think I got maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours before the place close to me, Riverview Nursery, closes, where I saw some of that slate. Let me measure up, see if I can find a way to make these slate pieces work. The cave may not be as deep as I want it to be, but like everything, I'll find a way to make it work. So fingers crossed, I'll be back in a little bit. I just can't win. I just can't win. So I found another hole where that rock went down, so I'm gonna have to patch that one as well. It might not have gone all the way through, but Jesus Christ, this is getting old. I guess let me search through here, make sure I didn't do any more damage. It's just getting old. All right, let me search through here. We'll be back.